As CPUs and GPUs continue to get more powerful with each new generation, the push for ever more realistic graphics in blockbuster games shows no signs of slowing down. If you need any more proof of the advancement of tech over the years, just take a look at the gaming industry. In this video, we are going to talk about what will computer graphics look like in 2030. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Technological developments in this sector have been staggering from the early years of black and white 2D games like Pong to complex games with high-quality graphics, such as Call of Duty. Gaming really has stepped up over recent decades. But with the introduction of virtual reality, VR, goggles as the next dimension of gaming, what exactly is next for the industry? A major innovation in gaming technology is cloud gaming. Users can play games wherever they are. If you have 5G internet at home or on the way to or from work, you can play your favorite games on any compatible device. That should note that mobile devices in 2030 will have powerful graphics processing capabilities. Consequently, there will be billions of gamers who will not buy an expensive gaming console or laptop. Today, computers are in virtually everything we touch all day long. We still have an image of computers as being rectangular objects either on a desk or these days in our pockets. But computers are in our cars, they're in our thermostats, they're in our refrigerators. In fact, increasingly computers are no longer objects at all, but they suffuse fabric and virtually every other material. Because of that, we really do need to care about what the future of computing holds, because it is going to impact our lives all day long. Some of the exciting breakthroughs have to do with the Internet of Things. In the same way that has a tendency to think of computers as rectangular boxes, have a tendency to think of the Internet as being some kind of ether that floats around us. But quite recently, researchers have made enormous breakthroughs in creating a way for all objects to communicate. So your phone might communicate to your refrigerator, which might communicate to the light bulb. In fact, in a near future, the light bulb will itself become a computer, projecting information instead of light. Before we head off into the future, it's worth taking stock of the advances in 3D graphics over the years. Much of the theoretical aspects of 3D rendering, egg vertex transformations, viewport projections, lighting models, are decades old, if not older. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now, let's get back to our topic. Take the Humble Buffer as an example. This is nothing more than a portion of memory used to store depth information about objects in a scene, and is primarily used to determine whether or not a surface is hidden behind something else. It would be decades before any casual gamer got to see these things in action on home entertainment systems, and as the likes of Sony, Sega, and Nintendo did this with their 3D-focused consoles. By the standards of today, games for those early machines, such as the first PlayStation, were primitive in the extreme, but developers were still getting to grips with modern rendering. Everything that could be measured in numbers was increasing at a frantic rate. In the early days of 3D games, the number of polygons per frame was often used as a selling point, but now it never gets mentioned because it's just a ridiculous amount. For example, the first Tomb Raider running on the PlayStation used 250 triangles for Lara, whereas the PC version of Shadow of the Tomb Raider can use up to 200,000 for the main character. Texture size and the number of textures used have ballooned each year too, and we're now at the point where even just an HD texture pack can be the same size as the rest of the game's assets combined. Take a step forward, Far Cry 6. Today, 1960s style designs, such as this one by La Carbonera Design, left, are retro cool by 2030. Vintage logo designs, inspired by the blissful consumerism of the 1960s or the rugged frontiersmanship stamp emblems of the late 19th century, are all the rage nowadays. But soon the recent past will lose its novelty, and logo designers will have to find a way to renew the vintage look. Well, there's only one way to go, and that's backward, so look forward to a crop of hip designs invoking medieval design. Feudal family coats of arms, regal seals, and ornamental scrolls. Once there, hieroglyphics aren't far off. The Microsoft Surface, left, employs a flat design. In 2030, the design will have ditched the visual altogether. Flat design is a major buzzword these days, referring to the use of sleek, perfectly 2D web design elements that make no use of gradients, shadows, or anything else that implies three-dimensionality. By 2030, even this is bound to seem clunky and abrasive. User experience designers will be tasked with finding something more elegant than banal visual shapes. In solution, ethereal design will do away with the visual element entirely, instead making use of auditory tones, tactile signals, and the fourth dimension, time, to guide users around a website, giving eyeballs a much-needed rest. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment with your thoughts below if you liked this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.